Welcome to another episode of the Astrology of Family, Karma, and Relationships podcast. I'm your host, Alexander Mallon, with our wonderful co-host.
Sheila G., your guide on the side.
So today, folks, we are doing part two of this particular episode. Home for the Holidays is our title, Understanding Our Family Connections and How We Are Wired for Relationship. And this part two, Sheila, we'll be discussing sun sign personalities and its connection to the Myers-Briggs Jungian archetypes.
Giving a little more detail from part one.
That's it. So, as always, Sheila, we do need to say to our viewers and our listeners, we are still a pretty new podcast,
Mhm.
and therefore we do invite you, please, to follow our podcast on Apple and Spotify, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Those subscriptions help search engines find us so that we can continue to produce other shows and have other people find us too.
Yeah, indeed. And we thank all of you that have already followed and subscribed to our channel. Thank you for watching and appreciate your support.
Indeed, indeed. So, Sheila, this theme, home for the holidays, back home with the family, that's kind of an important highlight also to know that when we are home with family, we really are sort of back home at that sort of the source of where we obtain our sense of self in the world. That's a kind of a phenomenally standard experience, isn't it?
Yeah,
I love
especially this time of the year.
this time of the year.
Hmm.
I love this slide that we brought up last time too. Ram Dass, kind of an American guru figure, who said, "If you think you're enlightened, go home for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, indeed.
That'll get you back in the groove of family dynamics,
And
both the
how difficult they can be, but some
difficult,
families get along very well and can be a lot of fun.
yeah, the good part and the challenging part, the
Hmm.
parts that have helped to give us our gifts, and the parts that gift us with challenges to grow."
Hmm.
So I like to remind people that what is a birth sign or a sun sign? In other words, one tool we can use in astrology, of course, is something as fundamental as our sun sign, our birth sign. What sign of the zodiac you're born under, and what that literally means is that the sun is passing in front of that group of stars named for that sign. This fall into winter time, we have the sun moving in front of Virgo in September, and Libra through October, and Scorpio through November, and Sagittarius December into Capricorn, December into January. So literally it means, folks, that when the sun in its orbit around the zodiac moves in front of this star pattern, that signals that season, that subseason of Virgo. You could say August, September. That subseason of Libra, September, October. The subseason of Scorpio, October, November. So
Hmm.
when the sun passes in front of that star grouping, it's not really anything to do with the star grouping whatsoever. It's kind of like a road sign. The road sign doesn't make the road what it is ahead. It's just telling us the nature of that experience. And when the sun moves in front of these star patterns that we call the signs of the zodiac, that marks your season sign. I want people to begin to understand astrology really about nature's cycles
Hmm.
and the cycles of season. In other
Yeah.
words, mom is carrying us for 9 months and gives birth to us during a certain season, spring, summer, fall, winter. What is your season sign is really the question to ask ourselves in terms of
Hmm.
a person's character and nature.
Yes. So that's a little recap of part what we
Some of what we did,
also discussed in part one.
yeah. This fundamental piece for those who don't know astrology, it's about your season sign. When did you come into this earthly plane?
Hmm.
So one great tool that I think, one slide we can use here, those who are watching on YouTube and those who are listening will explain. We have a picture of a circle on the screen that has kind of a color-coded seasonal patterning here. A quarter of that circle, 1/4 of the year, is springtime at the bottom right-hand part of our circle here. So 1/4 of the circle is springtime, and the quarter following, of course, is summer, followed by autumn, followed by winter in that order. And each of us are born during a sun sign or season sign of either springtime or summertime or fall, autumn, or winter. That's an important premise in terms of how am I wired? How am I literally wired in nature? And also too, when was mom's belly really huge and producing a baby after 9 months? When did that baby enter that family system? That's a really important piece,
Mhm.
a fundamental piece to astrology. I know we tend to always think about our sun sign. Really, it's the light of the sun, you could say, the light of conscious sun, the light of the sun, the light of consciousness, the daytime light of the sun being in front of a star grouping, that season.
Mhm. So, Alexander, why did you choose this Celtic cross to
Well, this Celtic
show
cross and
that?
the cross-quarter days mark 8 turning points of this seasonal year. 8 turning points of the seasonal year. Springtime and the opposite fall. The beginning of summer as Cancer and the opposite Sun in Cancer, the opposite Capricorn as winter. So spring, fall, summer, winter, and those in between seasons as well. This slide.
So, oh, I see. So, okay, continue.
Yeah, this slide might help a little bit explain where we have that spring equinox, where we have equal days and equal nights, another phenomenon. Equal amounts of daylight in the early spring, equal amounts of nighttime. Of course, springtime is just that the sun is rising higher and higher every noon hour. So we're having spring. We're leaving behind those long nights and starting to gain sunlight and having those equally long days during spring. So the equinox, equal nights. So the spring equinox is that beginning of the season, the beginning of the growth. I always liken it, Sheila, to a seed
Mhm.
pod that
Mhm.
has survived the winter season of 6 months roughly, and is now ready for a little sunlight, a little more sun, a little bit more water, no more frozen water, but rain. We could say April showers bring May flowers is a great way to understand the process, right? So that seed pod then germinates. If it hasn't frozen solid and become invalid during the winter, that seed pod germinates. And then we have springtime and mid-spring into summertime. So we have two turning phases of the spring. The
Mhm.
equinox, it's spring equinox itself, March 21st, and then Beltane or May Day, which happens right in the middle of that springtime season when spring is really at its most fecund. I always think of May Day as Taurus time. It's the seed getting planted in the mud, and Taurus the bull in the
Mhm.
field chewing its cud and going through the grass pastures and fertilizing the ground, as we know.
So the Celtics, an earlier civilization. So you're saying this was has been observed uh, throughout mankind's development of the season, turn of the seasons, and
Yeah,
how it affects your daily life.
yes, this Celtic cross and cross-quarter days of May Day, Beltane, opposite Halloween, and Lammas, the middle of summer, the dead summer, the superheated August period
Mhm.
of dead summer versus the middle of winter, Aquarius time, February.
Mhm.
Those seasons, those 8 seasons, the four major seasons of spring, fall, summer, winter, middle spring, middle summer, middle fall, middle winter.
So why do
Those
you
are
think?
big.
No, okay. So why do you think the Celtics took
Well,
note of
as you
this?
as you said, all earlier civilizations, and we could sort of when we think Celtic, think Northern European, think the Druids, think
Mhm. Stonehenge
Stonehenge,
and how it
exactly.
was created. It was also built to mark those seasons.
To mark those turning points. Those
The
turning
major
points are
turning.
incredibly important. And when they didn't have a literal calendrical system, the nature and the sun's journey was the calendar, not just the night and day journey, every day, night and day calendar, but the change of seasons over time. And so they developed indeed, of course, over many hundreds of years and scores of years, this calendar, this calendrical system of spring into mid-spring giving way to the beginning of summer, then midsummer, midsummer giving way to the beginning of fall, mid-fall,
So
beginning
they
of
would know about planting and hunting and gathering and when's proper times to do that for so they can survive the times when they can't hunt or
exactly. And of
Harvest.
course, this seasonal
Harvest.
turning, these seasonal turnings were really a lived phenomenon. They
Hmm.
were an experienced, lived phenomenon in a totally natural way. So, I liken this turning of the seasons, this idea of these seasonal birth times, spring babies, summer babies, autumn babies, and winter babies, to something we're a
Hmm.
little more familiar with, Sheila, in
Hmm.
modern society, the Myers-Briggs type indicator, the
Hmm.
wheel of Myers-Briggs personality theories. And this wheel is something that I think most of us are familiar with, particularly if you've had any kind of corporate background and experience. It's pretty much a common thing to see in a workaday corporate world, right?
Oh, yes. I remember when using these colors, they would give the managers like a little diagram of the people in their group by the dots of the colors, and they could see right away if they had more of, too much of this one, too much of that one, if they wanted to build a team. And I know I myself, when I was on those in those groups and teams, I also paid attention to it. So if I needed to go ask someone a question to get some technical help or whatever, I would choose someone I felt would be a little bit more relaxed and patient, like that earth green person to go work with. So it can be very helpful and dealing with not only your family but work relationships too.
Right. And notice, of course, folks, that there are four colors for these four types that Myers-Briggs indicators have taught us. The four types, folks, are intuition type, the
Mhm.
fiery red in this wheel. The sensing type, the earthy green in this color-coded wheel.
Mhm.
The thinking type, colored yellow here, and the feeling type, and of course blue for, let's say, water or flow, the feeling type. They talk about the intuitive type, that is having a gut instinct of intuition and action, fiery red, competitive, demanding, determined, strong-willed, purposeful.
Mhm.
I talk about the opposite being here in this wheel, the earthy type, which is caring, encouraging, sharing, patient, relaxed. From what I had just shared, that idea of the springtime beginning, the seed that has survived the whole wintertime frost and freeze, and that seed, if it's still viable, will germinate March 21st into early April, will germinate. And that idea of that fire of life germinating and then needing a container to contain it in the physical earth. So here, this Myers-Briggs wheel tells us there are fiery personalities, earthy personalities. There are intellectual, air, sociable, dynamic,
Mhm.
demonstrative, enthusiastic personalities, and then there are emotional. So we've got action people, stabilizing people, intellectual, sort of communication-oriented people, and feeling types.
Mhm.
Intuition, fiery, sensing, the earthy, physical sensing, the thinking type, and the feeling type. Well,
Indeed.
anyone who studies astrology knows that the Myers-Briggs came from inspired by a particular source, Carl Jung. I always say to people, not Freud, but Jung. Carl Jung came up with these ideas of intuitive types, sensing types, thinking types, and feeling types. But any astrologer knows that what Jung had done, Jung, who was a very strong practitioner of astrology himself, his daughter actually becoming a pro-astrologer, by the way. Jung was an astrologer, and as an astrologer himself, came up with this idea, this wheel, to describe the general experience, that is, the general nature of people. Literally, when they're born, their nature, not only nature imprinting them as an infant, but their infancy, when they arrived in the family system, let's say in the middle of a blizzard versus the middle of summer, when that baby arrived in the family system, imprints the mother and father as well. So it's kind of a two-way gig here, that the child gets imprinted by us and by what's happening for us when that child is born, and that child's birth, a pretty amazingly powerful theme in a family, imprints the dynamic of the family. So
Mhm.
this Myers-Briggs type indicator, this wheel of fiery and earthy and intellectual and feeling people, that marries exactly to what Carl Jung borrowed from astrology. This astrology where we're each born into a season of the year, and astrology being a system which mirrors that you indeed are born into this earth at some part of this seasonal journey of springtime and summer and fall and winter time. So here, Sheila, is an astrologer's typical, prototypical kind of foundational astrology wheel. And it shows what's called the triplicities of the zodiac, the triplicities or season type that we might all belong to. In other words, if you're an Aries or a Taurus or a Gemini or a Cancer or a Leo or a Virgo, a Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, or Aquarian, and finally Pisces. If you're one of these 12 sub months, 12 months, 12 sub portions of the year, your nature will be one of these three, these sort of three signs under a given form of nature. You'll be a fire personality, Aries, Leo, and Sag, fire signs. Those are seasons that deal with heat or light or increasing light or decreasing light, like Aries, springtime, like Leo, midsummer when it's August, super hot, the dog days of summer.
Mhm.
Sagittarius now, late November into December when we're recording this, when we light the hearth, we light the candles, we light the ceremonial candles, we light the lights to bring a sense of spirit that the sun will rise in the spring and summer, it will rise higher again, but now in the winter it's going to be way low during the day. So we have these triplicities for each of these intuitive, what was it again? Let me bring it back here. The Myers-Briggs intuition type, sensing type, thinking type, feeling type, fire signs, intuition, sensing type, signs, earth, astrological air signs, thinking signs, astrological water, feeling signs. And here we see it in this graph. Intuition, fire signs, sensing, thinking, feeling types.
Well, those
Fire,
are, yeah,
water.
four things. So by but exactly what do you mean by triplicities? That I
Well,
see that is it just in the quadrant in the season? There's three different types?
it describes that that nature, Mother Nature and the unfoldment of Mother Nature, the unfoldment of the growing cycle from March through February, March all the way through February, back through February. The growing season has these three phases,
Three,
these
yeah, okay.
three
That's the
lines,
triplicity, the three
three
phases in a
per,
season.
per seasonal phenomenon
Okay.
of action and fire or heat. Three seasons that are three sub-seasons rather, or months that are earthy months, 3 months that are air or communication or oriented to social connection months, and three months that are feeling or water or literally like rain or snow months. Fire, earth, air, water.
Mhm.
Those four types that the Myers-Briggs talks about: intuition, sensing, thinking, feeling, fire, earth, air, water in that um, connection. So we can sort of think of these types as beginning fire, nurturing earth, connecting air, and feeding or feeling water signs. Those are the four astrological uh, air, fire, earth, air, water signs that all of us belong to one of those sub-seasons of the year. Going back to the Myers-Briggs diagram, they talk about not only the intuition type, the sensing type, thinking type, and feeling type. Myers-Briggs also adds now another little subtype they call judging and probing or perceiving, judging and perceiving. And those are other sort of facets to that fiery intuitive or that earthy sensory or that intellectual thinking or that feeling water nurturing type. The judging perceiving aims to assess what's happening, to determine what needs to be done, the judging what actions or how to package one's effort. The perceiving is more about receiving data and information, probing and receiving information, perceiving the experience around one to modify how one is active, how one intellectually gathers oneself or responds, perhaps how one applies their gut feeling to a situation, or earth sensory people, how to take action in a material form, material way.
Hmm.
So now we have sort of two main themes here: intuition, sensing, thinking, feeling, fire, earth, air, water, astrological signs, fire, earth, air, water. All of us belong to one of these four types: fire signs. Fire signs again: Aries, Leo, Sag. Fiery, action, shoot first, ask questions later. Earth signs, orderly, down to earth. They rely strictly on material, physical data, whether they have information around them of how to proceed, how to logically, physically move through the world. So, sensing personalities, earth personalities, are Taurus and Virgo and Capricorn. Taurus, springtime, the mud; Virgo, the harvest; and Capricorn, when the harvest has come and gone, and now you're battening down the hatches for wintertime and survival. Those
Hmm.
are down to earth signs. We have mutable signs, changeable signs, air signs that are thinking type. And this is a season, Sheila, of Gemini. Gemini is, let's say, June, May, June, when all students are in college intellectually applying themselves to what they've learned.
Hmm.
Air sign, Gemini, intellectual, verbal. Air signs, May, June, are also born Geminis at a time when we are gathering corporate data before we shut down for Cancer, Leo time for July, August vacation. So Gemini is about collecting data and information, exchanging information, air sign. So air signs, Gemini, Libra, that's October, back to school, back to work, October, Libra. The last air sign, midwinter, Aquarius.
Hmm.
Using your head, using your noggin to analytically figure out, gee, we just had 6 foot of snow on the roof. It's about, maybe it's a head. How heavy was it? Was it a really wet snow? I mean, need to get up on the roof and shovel that roof off. You have to use your intellect to survive the middle of winter and maybe, let's say, God forbid, a roof collapse.
Hmm.
So air signs are all about Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, analytically going through the experience of the season to societally, socially, environmentally calculate and figure your way through it. Last
Okay.
name, Sheila,
Hmm.
water signs: Cancers, Scorpios, and Pisces. And all of these folks, Cancers, Scorpios, and Pisceans, are born during a time when in nature there is literally more humidity, more moisture, more rain that all pertains to how things grow. And or in terms of Scorpio, you could say October, November, those beginning snows and rains. And Pisces, the last water sign. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, the water signs. Pisces is, we could say, February, March, when the frozen earth and the frozen hard pack of snow begins to get warmed up by the beginning of springtime and the melting snow waters during
Hmm.
Pisces.
Okay.
So this judging, perceiving that they talk about in Myers-Briggs, along with our intuitive or sensing or thinking or feeling type, judging, perceiving, judging action, perceiving, receiving data. Actually, astrologically, we can link and liken rather, and link that to what astrologers call the quadruplicities. The
Oh
quadrup,
boy.
yeah, it's quite the word, right?
Like triplicities, now
Quadru
quadruplicities.
Quadruplicities. So we go from triplicities, each of us being one of three fire, earth, air, or water signs, to the quadruplicities. So when you
Hmm.
get big on personality theory with astrology, in terms of who is everyone that I'm connecting with, looking at what person's sun sign, season sign, air, earth, fire, water personality. And now that season sign is modified by a quadruplicity, a cardinal, fixed, or mutable subseason. Aries is cardinal, Libra is cardinal, Capricorn is cardinal, Cancer is cardinal. Those four signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, they mark the turning points of the year. That's back to that
The
turning point
Celtic.
of the
Hmm.
Celtic cross: springtime, fall, summer, winter. Those four signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, mark the main cross, the cardinal cross, the action, cardinal like the bird, red, active, driving force of the season. Aries begins springtime. Cancer begins summertime. Libra begins fall. Capricorn begins winter.
Winter. Mm-hmm.
Those four signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, are really critical in astrology. They talk about the turning points of those major seasons. But we have subseasons now. So
Yeah.
astrology asks, where are we in those subseasons, in those four quadrants of the year? The quadrant of springtime, the quadrant of summer, the quadrant of autumn, and the quadrant of winter. There are subdivisions. In other words, there are subtle differences from one wintertime person to another. Is it the beginning of winter, Capricorn, or midwinter, Aquarius? Is it winter dragging on where you don't know what's going to happen? Will it ever end? The two fish, Pisces, Pisces time, February, March, in like a lion, out like a lamb, the change. We don't really know what we're going to get in terms of winter. Will it
Mm-hmm.
be the end of winter and springtime early, or will winter drive forward and drive on, unending from March into April even?
Mm-hmm.
So each of these season signs of astrology have subseasons of a sort. Aries is cardinal action, Taurus is fixed, middle of spring, fixity. Gemini, the last springtime sign, is mutable or changeable. It says from May to June, we go from springtime temperatures to now the sun being really, really high at its highest point when Cancer starts. The beginning of summer and that sun being very high in the sky every day and the heat building on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So we go from fixed Taurus, springtime, mid spring, where it's really sunshiny and bursting full of flowers, April showers bring May flowers, to Gemini, changeability, shifting sands of the season. The spring season is shifting, giving way to the sun being at its highest point in Cancer in July into August. And then that heat really builds, man. By Leo time, August, we are in fixed sign Leo, August babies, where the summer is really here to stay, just like the opposite Aquarius, mid-February, winter is really here to stay. Summer is when the summer is really super hot during fixed time. That's end of July into all of August, the hottest point of the year. Now we go to Virgo, the harvest season. I like to think of Virgo, Sheila, as being that time of the year that coincides with Indian summer. It's
Mm-hmm.
still summertime. We're kind of grabbing the tail end of summer after summertime fun, but we can't quite, be done with summer yet and go right into work. We're not quite ready to go back to school, back to work, but the seasonal temperatures are changing. We're now having that equal days, equal nights Libra beginning of September, October, and the fall begins. So notice that everything I'm saying here is about each sign of the zodiac being not only a sub condition of action, judging, perceiving, or action, cardinal, fixity of character, structure, mutable, changeable. So people can be fiery, earthy, airy, or water. They can be fiery, aggressive. They can be earthy, practical. They can be airy, intellectual, and they can be watery, emotional in either an aggressively cardinal or a fixed or a mutable, changeable way. So astrology gets a little complex, folks, with these quadruplicities, four types: fire, earth, air, water. And astrology gets a little complex with this action, cardinal, fixed, mutable, these sub-season uh, uh, sort of quarters of the year. But there is a way to cut through this a little more quickly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's gonna be.
And, and of course, all this is nature. I want to say when we look at the Myers-Briggs work, we have also in Myers-Briggs assessed a person's nature, their character, literally has to do with their birth sign. That when they're born in nature, it describes their essence of character, fiery or emotional, down to earth or intellectual. But there's a quicker way of doing this, folks, and that is back to that 8 turnings of the seasons. Where are you in your birth? Were you born as a springtime baby, or a summer baby, a fall baby, or a winter baby? That basically tells you something fundamental about a person's character structure. Fundamental. So how are we wired for relationships? Well, astrology, fire, earth, air, water, cardinal, mutable, fixed. That really helps us get down to the meat of it. But to do it really quickly, go home for the holidays, go to work, have coworkers, have family members, have sons and daughters, moms and dads, grandparents. And what sign of the zodiac, what subseason, Sheila, are they born during? Are they born during the springtime, Aries, Taurus, Gemini? Are they summer babies, Cancer, Leo, Virgo? These types, the spring summer babies, are all about springing into action and being here now and going toward their goals and achieving what they want. Basically spring, summer, before the winter hits and
Mm-hmm.
and snow and ice, you can navigate the environment in spring and summer and really achieve your goals.
Well, I had a question for you. How, give an example how you can use this in during family time and you're going home for the holidays and
Well, so if we have a wintertime baby, let's say a Capricorn, Aquarian, or Pisces individual who was born
hmm
during the winter.
hmm
In other words, what's imprinted on them was family members putting on big heavy coats, having the fireplace going, having really, really short days and really long nights, the winter winds blowing, maybe having snow squalls and blizzards and so forth. These babies that are born into that early winter, that winter system, they really are responding to the theme of survival.
hmm
Winter babies are about practical, functional, rational survival, where springtime babies, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, are about babies and mom, who's been carrying that baby, by the way. Mom was carrying that baby in utero all winter long, and when spring breaks and that baby comes, hooray! My baby's
yeah.
arrived in spring, not during a blizzard. My baby's arrived in spring, and we can all dance and frolic through the tulips and have
hmm
fun. Life is glorious again. The sun is up. And so springtime babies are about going forward, just taking action, running across that meadow and not worrying about having to batten down the hatches winter, not worrying about having to have extra blankets in the trunk of the car, not worrying about having a spare tire and a jack and road flares if you break down in the middle of the winter. Springtime babies are about being here and being spontaneous.
I see. So if you're going over to the family member's house that's an say a fiery type, and how do you see that Thanksgiving dinner going and everybody trying to pitch in or
Well, if they're a fiery type, are they a spring type where they go to it quickly and immediately and just, they spring into action, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, or are they a fiery type, a Cancer, Leo, Virgo, a summertime baby who's about sustained action, like, the summer is really baking you. The summer is, long, long days and short, short nights and really about the summer time, vacation time of family being together. Those summertime babies that were born during summer vacation time are all about family unity and are all about family stability and all about guaranteeing what's happening.
or they're
And
the best ones to have the holiday festivities,
uh,
everybody come along enjoying because they're going to really make it nice.
well, basically, summertime babies are party people. They are like, I think of the Beach Boys music or something, down at the surf,
hmm
surfers music, and the idea of surfing the ocean and party at the beach. That's summertime people. So when they have rather holiday gatherings, they are the party people. They want to have a big festive party. It's going to all be about fun and play.
hmm
The springtime people also, that sun growing higher and higher every springtime day. The springtime people also are party people. So spring and summer have no problem partying together. But if you have a wintertime person who's about practical presentation,
hmm
practical function, how many people will be attending? How much food do we buy? How much money do we spend? What kind of food do we buy? Where will we store it? Do we have a place for the food before the dinner? And do we have a
hmm
place to store leftovers after dinner? Those practicalities are definitely seen to be like raining on the parade of the summertime happy babies. So the spring summertime babies want to, go forward, spring into action, make the party happen, and don't worry about the particulars. You'll figure it out. The wintertime people say, no, 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 I can't relax and enjoy the party if I don't have a place to put all the food, if I don't
Mm-hmm.
have a bed for each guest to stay overnight. The wintertime people and the fall people say, we've got to be practical because when we were born in the fall and winter, that's a time when you got to be practical. You got to be
Mm-hmm.
rational and realistic about how to function. The fall babies, Libras, Scorpios, Sages, these are people that prepare for the intensity of winter, the absolute pure
Okay.
survival of winter.
Okay. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Okay, Alexander, help as a guide on the side, help me and the audience understand the practical application of knowing ourselves when we gather together as a family, say for this upcoming Christmas dinner. If it's going to be hosted by an Aries and I'm coming as a Capricorn, I mean, how could that possibly maybe go?
All right, so let's say a practical experience.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps let's say at the holiday dinner, we're cooking a turkey.
Mm-hmm.
The springtime, summertime baby, let's say the Aries, the springtime
Mm-hmm.
baby, Aries especially, early spring, the breaking out of the cabin, the get me out of this cabin, March 21st, April, this Aries busting out of the cabin, springtime busting loose.
Mm-hmm.
That person's going to say, I'll tell you what, let's throw the turkey into the oven. We'll get some vegetables going. We'll get stuff going on the stovetop. Let's have at it. Let's not dawdle and dilly dally. It's nice to see y'all. Let's grab your glass of wine, grab a plate, grab a whisk, grab a spoon. You grab the turkey. I'll grab some vegetables. We'll start cutting things up. We'll have at it. Here we go, folks. Let's go. Well, that sounds great. Just get out there, begin at the beginning, and take it from there, Sam. You'll see what happens. But the Capricorn wintertime baby will say, hold on, wait. There's a plan here. Like, first of all, who's got the turkey? Are they bringing the turkey? Do we have, how many vegetables do we have? How much turkey do we have? Do we have enough turkey to feed all the people? How
How
many
yeah, how
people do
many
we have?
people are coming?
How many people are coming? How big a turkey is this thing? Well, that has an issue because if it's a huge turkey, it's a long cooking time. Is the turkey properly thawed out? Is it defrosted? Do we have to defrost it first? So the Capricorn says, before I go and start cooking and cutting up vegetable, there has to be a team effort here. We have to know what we're doing, where we're going, who's doing it, who's got what, and how much of who's got what and what temperature do I cook? Who's got what? So the Aries says, really, you're being such a drag. Why don't you just we'll all start and grab it. We're all smart people. We'll figure it out. Why get bogged down all these uptight details of Capricorn wintertime worrisomeness?
And so that's fire, earth. So
Fire,
what
earth.
if an air sign comes in there?
Well, first, if you have
Okay.
Aries fire and Capricorn earth, those two
Mm-hmm.
elements, what do you get when you mix fire and earth? Lava, a
Yeah.
volcano, a
Mm-hmm.
volcano, right? The Aries says, I want to go. And the Earth says, hold on, where are we going? The Aries says, well, we'll figure it out. If we start, we'll figure it out. The Capricorn says, no, 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 I can't start anything until I have all my accoutrements and all the pots and pans ready. We have a clash of operating types. So what we're discussing here, actually, folks, is that there is a clash of fundamental nature, either a nature that is survival and practical wintertime, or a nature that is about, you know, grabbing your sword or grabbing the car keys or just going forward and seeing what happens. They're both valid styles, but they each yield a different result and they have a different process. So we could kind of say, Sheila, this is like, what language does this person speak? Do they speak springtime language, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, or wintertime language, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces? If they're speaking a radically different language that has a different style and a different canter and different sort of facial expressions, even, we could have some problems here. We have to negotiate and have a sense of, gee, what is my style? I know I'm fiery. I know I'm impulsive. I know I'm impatient. I know I want to spring forward and just get stuff going. And I know this other person is wired really differently. That kind of action makes them feel terrified, freaked out, insecure, unstable. The wintertime person, the Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces person, has to say, I know I've got a springtime person on my hands, an Aries, Taurus, Gemini. I got a springtime
Mm-hmm.
person on my hands. As a wintertime person, I got a springtime person, and I need to try to gather all the information in the pots and the pans, but let them have their thing. Let them do their thing, not rain on their parade. Let them jump into it. Let them get the oven going. Let them get the fireplace going. Let them have fun, and I will do the best I can to follow after. So
Okay.
springtime people, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, summertime people, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, those spring summer babies are about action and doing and being in the now and having fun and not getting bogged down in details or rules or any of that. The people who follow the rules are the ones who are about survival. Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. The fall babies, Libra, Scorpio, Sag. The winter babies, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. These people like to have a rule book. They say, who's got the cooking? Who's got the cookbook? Who's got the cookbook? That will tell us in what order we have to do all these things. The springtime person says, order, cookbook. Are you give me a break? Just get out. What does it take? We're intelligent. Grab your stuff. I'll grab some stuff and we'll have at it. We'll figure it out together. No, no.
Mhm.
The fall is exactly opposite the spring. The spring wants to spring into it. The fall wants to stabilize and prepare. The summer wants to have fun. The winter wants to be responsible. Who's going to clean up?
Mm-hmm.
These are fundamental differences that happen with mealtime. They also happen in business.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah, it could
know that
happen.
this
Mm-hmm.
whole Myers-Briggs indicator has been specifically applied to corporate. Who's got a certain style
Mm-hmm.
and who gets along with whom? So in this wheel, where we have the Myers-Briggs, the fiery personalities, the fire signs, are opposite in their nature from the earth signs. Fire and earth, you get lava. Water signs are opposite intellectual air signs. So with water and air, you get a tornado, a water spout, hurricanes. So these
Mm-hmm.
are polar opposite personality styles. It's it's their nature. It's literally the season of nature that soul came into this earth plane and was uh, their birth impacting the whole family system,
Mm-hmm.
either during the middle of a hurricane in the fall, or during the middle of a blizzard in the winter, or during summertime cookout, frisbee on the front lawn, summertime babies.
Mm-hmm. So maybe if you know their personality type, you can decide who's probably best to host certain events,
You cer
depending.
you certainly could say, in general, the spring and summertime babies are the ones that are a lot more fun and the
Yeah.
who are concerned with the practicalities and how things, end up. So
Yeah,
that
I bring a Gemini to you if you want someone who can crack good jokes and make
there
it
you
fun
go.
for everybody. Most of my Gemini friends tend to be that way.
That's right. Gemini Cancer. I think God, who was the great comedian that was oh gosh, what's his name? He played Robin Williams. That's what I'm thinking of,
Oh,
folks.
yeah.
Sorry for the delay. That
Hmm.
was a little brain. That was my Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius parts of my chart weren't functioning there. So Robin Williams, he's a Gemini Cancer. He's a laugh a minute, and he's a lot of fun, and
Hmm.
he's the quintessential summertime personality. Fun, fun, fun. Play, play, play.
Hmm.
You could think like Rush Limbaugh, wintertime.
Hmm.
Think Howard Stern, born the same day, not the same year as Rush Limbaugh. Wintertime, cynical, practical, funky, functional. You could think Bill Maher, Capricorn Aquarian, wintertime baby, brass tacks, talks brass tacks, no flowery BS with Bill
Yeah,
Maher.
he's kind
All
of
them.
yeah, yeah, his
These are
fun is very practical.
practical. These are different personalities. There's another piece besides this season sign thing, spring, summer,
Hmm.
abundant, extrovert, fall, winter, introvert. The time of day also in astrology is a big deal. And if you have a clue, morning, day, noon, or night when a person's born, that tells us so much about when they entered that family system, the time of day they entered that family system. So you can say if you're a daytime baby, you are an extrovert. Another Myers-Briggs trait, extrovert versus introvert.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a daytime baby, you are an extrovert. If you're a nighttime baby, you are an introvert. Well, what happens when we have a spring or summertime baby born at the nighttime? When a spring or summertime baby is born. So spring, summer are long days, short nights, extroverts. Spring, summer, extrovert. Born at
Mm-hmm.
night. If we have a spring, summer personality born at night, their nature is extroverted, but are an introverted extrovert. They are an internalized. So they are a party person, but they don't like to really be dancing on the table till midnight. They want to have a little party gathering at home and then let people go home from there.
Mm-hmm.
So you mix those natures. So if you are a daytime baby, you are an extrovert. A nighttime baby, you are an introvert. A summertime baby, you're an extrovert. A wintertime baby, I'm sorry, summertime baby, you're extrovert. Wintertime baby, you're an introvert. So summertime baby's extrovert. Wintertime baby, introvert. Daytime baby, extrovert. Nighttime baby, introvert. Mix those types
Okay.
together, and you have a good sense of how a person operates. You can even ask yourself when you're dealing with these people, knowing that they are born during a certain season, are
Mm-hmm.
they really like the person who, yeah, somebody stopped me? They have so much energy, they're totally on.
Yeah.
When they're totally on and never off, there's no off button. Spring, summertime babies, they are an extroverted extrovert. They're probably guaranteedly spring, summertime babies who were born during the day.
Is it Jim Carrey? I don't know what his
I
birthday
need to
is.
double check his chart. Well, we know Jim Carrey can be somebody stop me, but he also has the depressive side. So there's
Yeah,
probably
he
something in
does.
the
Yeah.
chart, maybe a moon placement or something that's more introverted. But there is a mostly extroverted quality to Jim Carrey, that's for sure. In any case, we can assess a person's character structure by which season, spring, summer versus fall, winter, which portion of the season, like
Mm-hmm.
midsummer, midwinter, it tells us so much about a person's character. Midwinter, stubborn as hell. Stubborn as hell in terms of practical,
Mm-hmm.
functional, factual. Midsummer, fun as hell. They don't want to hear you be a rain on their parade. Do not be a drag to a midsummer person. They just want to have
Mm-hmm.
fun, fun, fun till daddy takes the T-bird away.
Yeah.
That is it in a nutshell.
All right.
Themes of day and night, it depends also. Are you born as a newborn baby as the day begins? After that, after you're born, everyone's getting their outer world cooking. If you're born at sunset, everyone has been in the outer world already, and you came into the family, and everyone's coming home to focus on the family concerns, the inner
Mm-hmm.
family connections. So,
Yeah.
those two paradigms, season sign and extroverted daytime baby, introverted nighttime baby, are simple ways to understand the nature of who we're dealing with in a holiday gathering and how we can flow together.
Or who we're dealing with, whoever we're having to
Whoever we're
relate
dealing with,
with
yeah.
in any situation, whether at work or
Right? Corporate,
schools or,
business.
yeah.
So here's the US chart, July 4th. It's a Cancer
Mm-hmm.
nation, July 4th. They say they signed the documents 5:10 p.m. is what some astrologers say.
Mm-hmm.
It says that we are a summertime baby extrovert as a nation, July 4th, 1776 for the US. We're a summertime baby and we're born during the day.
Mm-hmm.
We are extroverted extroverts. But we're born as the evening is approaching. We're born as we are beginning to head towards sunset. We're born as we're preparing for the inner world of family. So the US chart says we are a Cancer nation. That's July, August. That's when babies are born and kids are off from school and mom's belly is huge and a baby arrives and everyone's there to welcome that baby. It's a big family lawn party or pool party.
Mm-hmm.
The US itself, a Cancer nation, says we're all about the family. Cancer is the most family oriented sign, Cancer and Leo both. They're the symbols for Cancer and Leo. Those are the most family oriented signs and the extroverted summertime people. So they're all about play and connection and what we're going to do, what we bring to the table. And
Mm-hmm.
their focus here in this chart is others. connection with others, not waking or rising into the day, not sunrise, but sunset. The nature of what others need for us and from us. It's a nation of people who are interconnected. So the US chart says we're all about fun, 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 summertime, July 4th. Fun, fun, fun till the daddy takes the T-bird away.
Mhm.
For instance, the United Kingdom's chart, the UK, are the opposite sign. They are not a Cancer nation, but a Capricorn nation, midwinter. So it's nothing about what I get to do and what I want, Cancer, summertime, what I want, my goals during summertime. Capricorn is about our goals and responsibilities, the collective, the outer
Mhm.
world, survival themes, wintertime, Capricorn sun for the chart of the UK, which I don't have immediately here, folks, to show you. But trust me, the US is a Cancer nation and Great Britain is a Capricorn nation, two polar opposite personality styles. So we can think of the Prime Minister with Biden or Trump, very different character personality exchanges.
Okay.
So there you go. It kind of wraps it up. The bottom line for people: what is your season of birth? Spring, summer, outgoing. Fall, winter, inward, cautious, focused on preparation.
So it's a quick way to assess your own personality type as well as those that you're going to be relating to without them having to take the tests of a Myers-Briggs.
There
Because
you go.
to get to get the outcomes from a Myers-Briggs, it's a detailed test of questions that someone answers, and if they may or may not share with you what those what their score is. So this is just a nice way to improve your relationships, not with yourself and with others, especially those that are close to
And
you.
the first order of business is what's my style?
Mm-hmm.
Am I a fall winter baby? Am I a spring summer baby? Am I a spring summer outgoing, somebody stop me personality who's always about going charging toward the joyful, playful, fun goal? Or
Mm-hmm.
am I fall winter, which is about taking responsibility and putting your personal needs second?
Yeah. So,
Two very different personalities, and they
mm-hmm.
operate in the world, like speaking a different language.
Yes.
So thanks everybody for watching. I do want to remind people that if they wish to make an appointment, please do go to my website, www.astrologyspirit.com. You can book appointments there and find out more about our work. Wonderful to see you all. Thanks for watching, and
Thanks for watching. Definitely appreciate you. Have a great holiday season.
we'll have a wonderful holiday. Take care, folks.